Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. Gender justice is a real issue. In India, gender-biased violence manifests in various forms. The female feticide, female infanticide, female genital mutilation, honor killings, acid attacks, trafficking, domestic violence, violence linked to dowry practices and rape. We all remember the Nirbhaya case where her murder and rape took place in 2012. Nirbhaya was beaten and raped to death by 6 men on a moving bus. A medical report said that she suffered serious injuries to her abdomen, intestines and genitals due to the assault, and doctors said that the damage indicated that a blunt object, a rusted L-shaped rod, was used for penetration. Since then, we have seen significant progress, especially with regards to the legislation to protect women. However, there are potential cases that have emerged where women misuse these laws. Now, a techie in Bengaluru is dead. Atul Subhash was found hanging in his apartment. Prior to his suicide, he recorded an hour-and-a-half video that has gone viral. He has blamed his wife, her family for harassment. He claimed that his wife demanded 3 crore alimony and she did not let him even see his child. Atul also blamed the legal system, branding it biased, and has made a serious charge against a judge in Jaunpur. He accused the judge of demanding 5 lakh for settling the issue and stated he refused to pay the money and rather chose death. This has ignited widespread discourse. However, it is important that we should not do a media trial in this case. This brings us to the next question. Did this particular woman misuse the laws to drive her husband to suicide? Let's also take a moment to look at the larger picture. Are we seeing a trend in the misuse of laws by women today? Because of the legislation that we have in place today for women has been a hard-fought victory. Women have had to campaign rigorously over the last few decades to get legal protections, whether against female feticide, infanticide, genital mutilation, honor killings, acid attacks, trafficking, domestic violence, violence linked to dowry practices and rapes. So how do we ensure that cases where laws are being misused and abused are not being used to dilute the hard-fought protections that we have achieved in the course of history? I'm going to start my conversation. Joining me on the telecast is Brinda Adige. Brinda, your first reaction to this unfortunate incident that has taken place 2 days ago and these allegations that have been made that do not just limit to the family members and the wife, but there seems to be, according to that death note, accusations being made on the family judge who allegedly demanded a bribe to settle the issue, who actually was seen mocking the boy, laughing at him at his financial distress.
What has happened to Atul Subhash is tragic. It is very sad. And it is one of the cases that also is showing up, portraying the justice system in our country. But that said, did the wife and her family misuse the law? Absolutely. But who are instrumental in allowing her to misuse that law? Where are the lawyers? The lawyers were the ones who filed the affidavits in court. They were the ones who also argued the cases in court. They were the ones who also constantly prodded and said you can put this case and that case, and so this man went about 120 times in the last 2 years attending court cases. And then the judge laughing, mocking at him. Just goes to show the caliber of judges that are sitting in our courts, supposedly to dispense justice. Now, whether it is a woman who is being harassed for dowry or a man who is being harassed for maintenance, and both of them going through so much of trauma and pain and mental health disturbances, the courts don't give anything. They do not give an iota of notice to this pain and torture, and nobody pulls them up. Even now, everybody is talking about the Bangalore City Police having registered an FIR and going to arrest the woman and her family. Why hasn't the Supreme Court or any other court directed the Bangalore City Police to arrest the judge who mocked him? She also abetted suicide of this man. Why not the lawyers who are party to this entire debacle in court where they have filed the cases? So you can't absolve these main players and actors also But it is very easy to, say this because we are steeped in sexism. We are steeped in misogyny to say women misuse laws. 10% of women may be misusing the law. But that doesn't mean 90% of women must not pursue with the cases that they have for justice. The same way, today we are discussing about this man who has written an 80-hour video, 80-minute video, and a 24-page write up before he committed suicide.
Yeah.
Many women don't even have that time. They don't even have, if I may use the word, luxury to write all of it. They are so pushed to torture and trauma that they die. And if statistics, if you see the CCRB and the NCRB statistics, it will show you that hundreds of women are dying of dowry deaths every day. This is now time for the government to wake up, pull up the sock and revamp the system. Because this is what we are talking about for the last 3 decades. There is a problem, there are lacunae, there is apathy with the government functionaries, with the police, the prosecution, as well as the support system, and of course the judiciary.
Okay. I have with me Sham Sharif Rain, and Sham Sharif, taking a look at hundreds and thousands of such incidents where women try to reach and appeal to the police inspectors, the DCPs who go and try to file a complaint against the sexual harassment, against domestic violence, against any kind of harassment and abuse that they face from men. And they themselves find trouble. They have narrated it firsthand that how they are not taken seriously, how they are questioned in the appropriateness of how they were dressed, whether they were actually quote unquote looking for it when they dressed in a particular way or stepped out at a particular hour of time. Notwithstanding that, there is such an incident. They are few in number as compared to the frequency in which women face such kind of crimes, such kind of being sidelined, whether it is from the law, whether it is from the judiciary, whether it is from the law and order agencies. Something similar has been witnessed by these individuals as well, as per the allegations that has been put out. But the question over here now, are we then going to paint it in a single brush, saying that listen, because this incident has happened, therefore there is the propensity for women to misuse these laws as well, and thereby unfortunately diluting the kind of legal progress that we have been able to garner over the past several difficultly fought cases in the court for women to be given justice, for women's cases to be fast tracked, for the law and order agencies to not take these cases lightly.
I would say that, when in the beginning of 1990s, when dowry deaths were happening, so many, it was every day we used to hear that someone or the other was burned for dowry and all. That's when this law was given so much of importance. But then eventually, as time passed, what happened was people started misusing it. Yes, I have been practicing law in Supreme Court from past many years. I have dealt with so many matters wherein I have seen that women are misusing not only this, even rape act has been rape section has been misused in the matter, wherein the girl is having an affair and then she puts a case of false rape case against the boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. Same ways in this the Domestic Violence Act also, many women have started misusing it, making it a tool that this is how I can, get a lot of things from men. So even the courts have also started that started happening somewhere, and these women have started taking advantages of it. So because of that, only keeping that in mind, it has started happening that the courts say that it's hold of the husband, not the entire family of the boy, So after inquiry, when there is a proper investigation wherein the court finds that yes, the in-laws have also played some role in the matter, or the sister-in-law, brother-in-laws and all, that's when they have been caught and then put behind the bars. So or otherwise earlier what used to happen, that once a girl says ki mujhe mara pita, and the entire family used to go behind the bars. So there court has started seeing that let us go into the facts, and then even now in these kind of matters, there is a pre-litigation mediation that has become mandatory now. So wherein if you go into a CAW cell, and if you lodge a complaint over there, so your matter will be first go for mediation, and then it will be taken forward. So the court has started acknowledging all of that. Even
even today, in a completely different case, in a dowry case that the Supreme Court was hearing, it made an observation that there has been an increasing trend of women, certain women, maybe a minuscule percentage of women, but they definitely are there, who are abusing this law to get that remuneration, to get that financial advantage from the man by way of it could be, alimony or maintenance for their children, and so on and so forth.
But then the court has also acknowledged that the crime has not decreased at all.
Yeah.
So if someone says that completely we have to stop this act and don't put the men behind the bars, court acknowledges no, it's not going to happen. We are going to inquire it. The police will give us a inquiry report, and then this husband or the family will be put behind the bars. Because as the earlier speaker said, that yes, it's very frequent that the women are still dying out of dowry. They have been harassed. Domestic violence matters after 2020 specifically, it's on rise. So yes, this won't happen that the law just goes away. But yes, court would also try to put in few more pointers so that the misuse would decrease a bit.
Okay.
But then
okay,
it actually remains there.
Okay, all right. Before we talk about the laws and whether there can be amendments made and how they can be better ensured to equip the problems such as this that has arisen today after this shocking death was reported 2 days ago. Nirmal Kaul, I would like to understand from you about how should the police tackle this situation, because the first interface when an act has been committed and the aggrieved party then approaches the police, police is the one who is the first interface. Do you think the police officers can be better trained to tackle situations not just from the aggrieved party, which is women, but also from aggrieved parties which could be men in a case such as this?
Definitely training. More than training, I think training everyone has, because after all, at the end of this society, and we see all around us what is going on, it's the sensitization. It's their, the sincerity with which the police acts, the bona fides, the legitimate siding with the right person, or, not making out disproportionate people, like in this case, the reality, whatever may it be, how it is being seen today with the suicide and all. But the thing is, Subhash felt tortured enough. He actually really was, he was feeling very, very tortured, very, caught in the situation, could not do anything. He was being, all around, the system did not help him. His wife and in-laws were after his life. They wanted maximum out of him. They wanted to harass him. But the system also did not support him. The police, the judiciary, the society, people nearby, those around us. Earlier we had these, panchayats. If there's any matrimonial dispute, first it will be by the people who brought the rishta, or the local panchayat, suppose it is, whatever. Now that is gone. Now the Supreme Court has made this mediation, the counseling, mediation. Crime against women's cells should always have, I've met a couple of very good counselors. They have these counselors who really try to go deep and find out. So many times they give a list of things, when the marriage goes foul and something turns sour, we did this, we paid so much of jewelry, and they tell lies. They exaggerate it by if it is X, they'll perhaps say 20X. So they were counselors who would dig deep, who would find out, What is the status of the family? Who would make local inquiries? Who would see the wedding cassettes and the videos to find out what kind of an event it was, and somehow bring the things closer to reality. Now it is not happening. Now I mean, of course, there are still sincere policemen and sincere cops and sincere system people who are holding the system, but still in 90% of the cases, you meet these people who are out to get you. Financially, I think it's a good opportunity to make money out of this guy.
Because this individual Atul, in his letter, the death note and the video that he has recorded, he goes on to say that this family judge actually asked him for a 5 lakh rupee bribe. She said, I will settle the case for you, but you need to pay me 5 lakh rupees. And she was right over there mocking his financial distress.
Letter is treated as a dying
at one point in time he's accused
that
why don't you now commit suicide? That was one of the suggestions given for the case to finally come to an end.
Yes, the thing is that it is really a sad state of events where those responsible for keeping the peace and morality and holding the standards of the society high come down to this level. This is really sad. But another thing I tell you, what is very, very wrong with our system is that perjury in our system, lying under oath, submitting a false affidavit, submitting false documents, all this is not a cognizable crime. We've been fighting 40 years, I've been a cop, and I've seen that many cases, there are so many affidavits left, right and center being filed stating that, utter falsehoods, and then being lying under oath. Notary, if I'm not telling a lie, I can be held responsible for this. But no, they are never ever held responsible. Why? Because it's a long process, perjury in our process.
Yeah.
If you are perjured, it's a long process. I have to again go to the magistrate. I mean, for whatever good reasons, this has been kept. That perjury is a domain of the judiciary, and judiciary alone, and judicial process is very, very long. It's very, 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 it's so tiring, it is so that you would give up. It's that kind of a process.
Okay. So but I'm also going to raise one more point, and which is what is shocking over here and distressing and very, very sad. It's unfortunate that it has happened. And Brinda, the fact that it is so unfortunate. The man must be feeling so helpless that he actually had to take his own life to then demand action from the law and order agencies for a complaint to be filed, for an FIR to be registered, because up until now the laws were all in favor of the woman and her family. Even if he tried to file some sort of a complaint, it was the cops, the law agencies, the judiciary, they turned a deaf ear to. So the fact that he had to take this extreme step, which gives which sends out a message that if something needs to be done, you need to kill yourself.
Well, that I still have hope in my country, my judiciary, and all of us, you and me, everybody put together, that we will continuously demand that there are changes that happen, transformation happens. Now that said, life has gone, and he has felt that some form of justice will be got by his family if he commits suicide and he dies. And that thought is something that I absolutely abhor, and I will never subscribe to it. It is unacceptable. That is not the right way, because I do not know what justice is going to come out of that life that has gone away. Of course, like Madam Nirmal said, that is a dying declaration. But you know that our courts are tedious, and we know that our procedures are even worse. So by the time there is any form of even substantive justice, forget procedural justice, it's going to take another decade or so. But that said, we want to come back to what Madam Nirmal Kaur said about the ethics and the trust and the faith that we place in every arm of the government, especially the justice system. We believe that the police is the last resort. I'm sure they would have done all kinds of things, and then we go to the police. The police never register a case. Now we need to look at the root cause, where 161 statement and the police's statement is never accepted by any court in any case. Now that reeks of colonial judiciary. Now, nobody questions the colonial judiciary as to why you have a 161 CRPC, but you will not believe the police when they come with such a statement. All policemen and women cannot be corrupt and bad and liars. Somewhere you have to accept that there are honest, upright duty bearers. Now that said, you bring it to the prosecution. Continuously in our courts, everywhere across India, the vacancies that are there in the police and the prosecution. So the prosecutor does not come every time my case comes up in court. He will come once in 5 times when my case comes up in court, because he's also handling other courts. So the vacancy is never filled up. Now, we cannot say that we are a poor country, nor can we say that we are a country lacking man and woman power. We have both today. So why aren't those vacancies filled up? Third, we ask the judges. These judges who are handling cases of this nature are supposed to be trained, specially trained, and they should be handling them with sensitivity. And there are rules and there are so many case laws to say, fast track the court, fast track this case. It should be completed in 6 months, 12 months.
Yeah.
Now, why would the court continuously go on? No accountability. Nobody's pulling up anybody. And if this continues, we can't say women are misusing. No, these cases have come for the protection of women.
Yeah,
we do
absolutely.
need laws for men also.
Absolutely. And Shamshari, if we're talking about, there has been an appeal that has been made by a number of these men's foundations and bodies that have come up, speaking about the quote-unquote Men Too movement. And it seems to be gaining traction, at least on social media and perhaps on the ground as well. Talking about these gender-neutral laws. Now, do you think it is judicious to ponder over this and bring about amendments and gender-neutral justice? Do you think the women in our country are at a parity that a general neutrality can be utilized when you are looking at and judging the cases, whether they come from the women's side as the petitioners or the men's side who could be plaintiffs?
No, of course, the matter, now the law actually should be gender neutral.
Okay, we'll try to fix that audio. Shamshari, while I request, there seems to be an audio issue over there. We'll try to fix that, but I'm going to come back to you, Nirmal Kaur, while we fix that audio problem with her. About general neutrality. And do you think we have come of age right now? Because we continue to take a look at the skewed ratio of the number of women who are killed, mutilated, raped, gang raped, burnt alive, and as compared to the incidents that happen with men, which has happened unfortunately with this individual Atul Subhash, who in his allegations has made certain statements. Is there space right now for our country to have gender neutral laws?
Come in, the BNSS, the Sakshya Sahita, these 3 procedural and substantive laws, which has replaced IPC, CRPC and Evidence Act just this year, a few months ago. They are more gender neutral, and I think, but still I would say, not to I'm not unsympathetic, I'm sad, I'm very sad that this has happened to Subhash. The only thing is that there is still a preponderance of, number of cases against women than men. Of course there are men like Subhash who suffer, but for every Subhash, I'm sure there are at least 9 or 9.8 women, that kind of a thing. So there is still, the percentage, large number of women are suffering. They are within the 4 walls of the house, outside. So we do need laws that empower women, that, kind of affirmative action for women, without, any action which will go against men. Like in this case, the system harassed Subhash so much that he was forced to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And that too, he's recorded his, his tragedy very well. And I hope this will posit a kind of a question for all the legal luminaries, for the law commission, for people to think over it.
Yeah, your quick comment. Your quick comment about gender neutral laws. Do we at this point of time are in a position as a country where we can clearly see that, if a man is aggrieved or a woman is aggrieved, there could be issues of domestic violence or harassment. They can be put in equal footing. Can we?
Look, we need gender neutral laws speaking for that, because this you could say that this is one case out of maybe 1,000 matters where a husband is being harassed so much. Otherwise, every other case, the wife is always harassed. Even in the court, it is said कि ये तो पागल है. If she has even attempted to kill herself during the marriage, also it is always made that ये तो पहले से ही पागल थी. She has some mental health problem and all. So there are many kind of statements that are made against the girl, and the matter keeps on lingering around for many years. So yes, this actually should not happen. But yes, as the other two previous speakers said, that there should be a awareness program kind of a thing, wherein the judges also knows how to handle such kind of matters, the clients, and even the ones who are into executive, the police, the lawyers, everyone should be trained how to handle them.
Yeah,
because
okay.
in the court, even men come and make such kind of statement with that very innocent face that no, I am the one who is suffering and all. But in fact, when you read the complete case, when you see all the documents, you just get to know that no, the boy is just lying. Even if a boy is from a very well-to-do family, the affidavit in the court is filed that I am working in my father's company as a clerk. So that he actually doesn't.
And those
have
are the
to pay,
loopholes. Those are the
pay
loopholes that are very frequently
So, yeah.
practiced. You're absolutely right. Okay, I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast.